So let's look at Mr. Kumar. He's a purchase manager. For his company, Kyati Builders, buying 60 computers involved a 5-person committee, and it took 27 long days. But when his own son needed a new laptop, well, that was just a quick family decision, all wrapped up in 3 days.
So what is going on here? I mean, it's the same person, Mr. Kumar, buying pretty much the same type of product, a computer. So why is one a month-long marathon and the other a weekend sprint? The answer? Well, it pulls back the curtain on this hidden world of how companies really buy things.
Okay, so the first big clue in solving our mystery is the process itself. You see, when a company buys something, it isn't just a single action. It's a formal, structured journey, and it has a lot of steps. This whole journey has a name: organizational buying behavior. And the one word you really gotta latch onto here is process. It's not a single event. It's a formal system for figuring out a need, looking at all the options, and then, finally, picking who to buy from. It's totally deliberate, a multi-stage affair. So what does that process actually look like? A company doesn't just, buy computers. First, it has to formally recognize there's a problem, then define the general need. After that, create detailed specs, search for suppliers, ask for proposals, and then, finally, select one. Every single one of those steps adds time. And that's precisely why Mr. Kumar's big purchase took nearly a whole month.
And that formal process, it's not run by just one person. Nope. Unlike Mr. Kumar and his son making a quick decision over the weekend, a company purchase involves a whole cast of characters. It really does take a village.
In pretty much any company, big decisions aren't made by one person, but by a group. And that group is known as the buying center. Honestly, this concept is the single biggest difference between you buying a coffee and your company buying a new coffee machine for the whole office. And inside this buying center, you have at least 6 distinct roles. And believe me, they each have their own agenda. The users, they just want something that's easy to work with. The technical influencers and specifiers, they want the absolute best performance. The buyer, someone like Mr. Kumar, they just need to follow the rules. And the deciders? They probably want the best price. Getting all of these people to agree, well, that's where all the friction and delay comes from.
So what kinds of pressures and factors is this buying center dealing with? It's not just about getting the lowest price. Not by a long shot. The final decision is shaped by a whole host of really powerful influences, both from inside and outside the company.
Think of it like peeling an onion in 4 layers. On the outside, you've got environmental factors, things like government policies or new tech. Then you go a layer deeper to organizational factors, like the company's budget and all its internal rules. Deeper still are the interpersonal factors, the power dynamics and who's most persuasive in the room. And right at the core, you have individual factors, the personal experiences and motivations of every single person on that team. It's that personal layer that can really change things. But here's a really key detail. Even inside a company, not every single purchase is a 27-day epic marathon. The complexity of this whole process changes dramatically depending on what's being bought. We can basically group these purchases into 3 main types. A straight rebuy, that's your routine reorder, like getting more printer paper. It's simple, it's fast. Then you have a modified rebuy. This happens when you need the same kind of product, but you want to change the specs or maybe the supplier, like switching from copper to aluminum wires. That requires a bit more thought. And then there's the big one, the new task. This is buying something for the very first time, like installing a whole new solar power system. This is the most complex situation, and it requires the full multi-stage buying process we talked about. So we have the process, the people, and the pressures. But all of this is being seriously shaken up by one massive force, the internet, and it's empowering buyers in ways we've just never seen before. Get this. A Forrester survey found that 74%, that's nearly 3/4, of business buyers now do more than half of their research online before they ever even talk to a salesperson. The power dynamic has totally flipped. And this right here shows us what modern buyers are actually doing with all that online access. They are self-educating. They're seeking out expert opinions, reading multiple articles, watching videos. Basically, they're getting smart all on their own. The days of relying on a sales rep for even basic information, they're pretty much over.
And here is the big takeaway from all this. Remember that gatekeeper role, the person who controls the flow of information? Well, with information now freely available online to everybody, that role is getting way less powerful. The user, the influencer, the decider, everyone in the buying center can now get their hands on the same data. And that's making the whole decision process more collaborative and a lot more transparent. So the next time a seemingly simple purchase at work takes weeks and weeks, you'll know why. You're not just watching a delay, you're watching the complex dance of process, people, and pressures. Now you've got the framework to see it all. The real question is, can you spot the buying center, the influences, and the purchase type happening right there in your own workplace?